Hi strangers, it's been a while since my last episode, and in the spirit of this podcast I wanted to be honest with you. I've been struggling with my mental health. I've found myself in quite a bad place actually the last month or two, and I found myself struggling massively. Thankfully though, I reached out and I spoke with the right people. I think it's important that I tell you this, as I'm now feeling much better. I never once felt it was weak to be depressed, because I know the strength it takes just to get through every minute of every day. Please, I've said it before and I'll keep on saying it. If you need to, reach out. If you can, listen and be there for someone. Either way, it could save a life. I recorded this episode a little while ago. This man is quite inspirational. I follow him on Instagram, and it was initially because I'm a huge fan of his wife. However, after this conversation and after following his adventures, I am now a huge fan of his too. He will be very pleased to know. This is another very interesting conversation, and I really hope you enjoy it. Every conversation can change a life, just remember that.
Podcaster, entrepreneur, ice bath enthusiast, a +1, parent to the lovely Zane the dog, and property developer James O'Keefe is with me today. How are you?
I'm very good. That was a very nice, warm welcome. Yeah, I don't know.
Except for
Don't
the
know
ice
really.
bath bit. It's not warm.
I don't. It's funny because I don't actually know. It's funny when people say, "What do you do?" and stuff. You know, I've got a friend, Jay, the creator. He's on Instagram and he's brilliant, and he's a really become a really good friend of mine over the last few years. And we always, when we introduce each other to people, we don't really know what to say. We're just like, we don't know. We just go, well, yeah, they're just this amazing person that does it, that does so much. And, who knows, it's a funny one. When I get introed, sometimes I'm like, oh, what is it? What do I do? And who am I? And yeah, so it's a funny one, but thank you.
That's a deep question, isn't it? Who am I? I mean, we're all
Oh,
multifaceted.
mate.
We've all got many things going on.
Yeah, it's funny because, the older you get, well, personally anyway, the older I get, the more I realize I know nothing. That's what's honestly become the real, I think it's a real kind of an awakening moment that I've realized that I know less and less as I'm getting older and older.
You're not that
And I'm
old. Come on.
well, I'm 45, so
That's young.
yeah, no, but I mean, I don't mean it in a bad, but when you get to 45, well, personally, I've always tried to be and know everything and work everything out, and I think now I'm a bit like, I'm all right with not knowing,
Jack of
especially
all
after the
trades,
last 18,
master
yeah,
of
but
none.
after the last 18 months as well, just with life in general, it's like, what do we actually know? You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
shaken everyone up a bit, hasn't it, really, in that way?
yeah, I think so. I
Made us
think
look at
so.
ourselves, what we're doing, who we are. I've changed my life in the last 18 months, and I've
Have you?
spoken about how guilty it made me feel, that
Yeah.
everything seems to have fallen in the right places for me in the last 18 months, whereas there's been so much suffering everywhere else. I've actually felt real guilt over that.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's sometimes the English way of that
Mm-hmm.
we, you know, look, out of great suffering always comes great rewards and great kind of things, great, not only rewards, but people come together in great suffering, I mean,
Mm.
did you read about when 9/11 happened afterwards that apparently the depression medication in New York went down like 80% or something,
Really, I didn't
but
know that.
yeah, apparently, I mean, that's a real thing, that when there's a great problem or a great, suffering, then people's spirit, they pull together, and it makes people feel better in a way. And obviously, the horrific thing happened, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to pull together and be strong and fight and push, and and it makes people come together and do great things. So I think it's a I think, with everything in life, you have to really find the beauty and the lesson from it, and try and grow from it. And, yeah, I hear you though. You do feel a certain amount of, you feel bad for people, but you kind of then feel a little bit like, oh, I'm kind of thriving, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel a little bit bad. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't
but
think
then
we should.
it was like a redefining of me, but there was also this, hang on a second, no. life is short, and the last
Mm,
18 months has told us that. And there was also, so there was this element of, I've got to grab life by the balls and go with it and say yes to everything, which is kind of what I've been doing since, saying yes to a lot. And also with things like things that are going on in my family life with my mum's health and stuff, it's kind
mm,
of played into that and seize the day sort of mentality.
mm. Yeah, again, there's it's like life's such a weird, like, double, two-sided thing where you can say yes all the time and then end up being a busy fool and not really doing
That's me at
anything,
the
or,
minute.
or yeah, and that's the problem. You end up going down that route, and then actually the empowering thing is to say no sometimes.
Mm.
And it's you talk I listen to a lot of high performance stuff, podcasts, and uh Tony Robbins, and I'm trying to think of the other big podcast, the high performance. Oh my God, let's
I
see.
can't help you there. If it's high
No, I mean my
performance,
brain. My brain is, yeah. It's I've been hit around the head too many times.
it's fine. It's
Um,
being 45.
exactly. Tell me about it. Tim Ferriss. Have you heard
Okay.
of Tim Ferriss?
I haven't, but I'll look it up.
No, Tim Ferriss got one of the biggest podcasts in the world under Joe Rogan. He's
Mm.
and he interviews. His whole thing is interviewing high performance individuals, people who've achieved a lot, and
Yeah.
they just talk about you know not always saying yes and structuring your time. And he wrote the 4 hour work week and the 4 hour body, and so yeah, really interesting. You should have a look at that, and anyone else that's deemed listening to me ramble on, you might want to have a look at it as well.
No, I might do actually. I mean, for me,
Yeah,
it's more to do with, I suppose at the minute I'm saying yes to a lot because I spent so many years being scared to say yes to a lot. And it
yeah,
wasn't purposefully me being lazy or anything. I suppose it was circumstance, and
yep,
I had to say yes to the wrong things because I needed money, I needed to get on, I needed to pay the bills,
yeah.
and I
Well
put
done there.
everything that I really wanted to do on the back burner. So
What was it? What's how has that gone for you? Like, with what's been the best moment for you then? Obviously, you're doing the podcast, which is an amazing achievement, and well done, and thank you for having me on, because it's I'm really grateful and honoured to be on. Really am.
that's good. Best moment for me. I suppose there's a few, but it's all within the last 18 months.
Mm.
I mean, a highlight for me was, and we haven't even mentioned her name yet, was speaking to your wife because
Yay!
she's been a hero of mine for 20, 25 years.
Aw.
I suppose I massively fell in love with her. It's Beverly Knight, by the way, for anyone listening.
Yeah.
When she brought out the, was it the Affirmation album? No, what was the album before that? That's really bad that I can't think what the album is
Oh,
before.
I,
With Shape
I,
of
I
You
struggle.
and Gold
Yeah.
and Shoulda Woulda Coulda, those ones. And it's really bad if
I
you
can't even
don't know the
think
name of the
either.
album.
Look, I don't even know what I did. I don't even know what my name is some days. So to know what all my wife's albums are, I mean, she's done quite a lot, So,
Yeah,
um,
she has.
you know,
And it's all
I
been
got,
amazing.
well, I have to agree, of course. I would say she is quite an amazing individual.
Actually, on that note, what are your
Go on.
music tastes?
Well, I've
Before and
always.
after?
Yeah, I mean,
Before and after meeting Bev?
I remember when Flavor of the Old School came out, and
Yeah.
all of that, and I remember, obviously I remember Beverly's stuff. And my brother was actually a real big Beverly fan,
Mm,
so I used to listen. But he used to listen to a lot of ska and Madness, and
yeah.
and kind of soul back in the day, like when I was. This is like 80s, so we used to listen
Mm,
to a lot of Northern Soul and ska, and and then I got into my house music and garage, and and all of that, and it's kind of pretty much stayed that. I do like, I mean, like, Bat Out of Hell's one of my most, I think it's one of the most amazing masterpieces
yeah.
ever. I also think War of the Worlds is probably one of the greatest albums ever made,
Hmm.
just ever. So that, bit of a weird eclectic, taste.
It is. I couldn't listen to War of the Worlds when I was a kid in the 80s
Oh,
again.
I
It
loved
was
it.
too scary. It was that, is
Oh
it like a
no,
heartbeat that kind of runs through it?
yes.
Yeah, and it used to really scare me. Me and my older brother used to listen, like, when it was on, we'd like listen to a bit of it and we'd like, no, I can't listen to anymore.
It's if anyone hasn't listened to it, just go and listen to it. It is a masterpiece. I mean,
Mm,
a masterpiece. Simple.
Yeah, but I was always under
Yeah,
the impression as well that back in the day there was loads of people that thought it was a real attack, and then I found out the other day that apparently that was just to generate hype and stuff, which is
yeah. It was bonkers. It's a masterpiece. It just is. You
yeah.
know, and yeah, I love that album. And actually, my dad had the. I don't know where it is, but he passed away years ago. But yeah, he had the vinyl, the literally the
That's what
copy, the
we had. Yeah.
vinyl copy, and it was beautiful. And you had the whole, the whole story in there and everything. So yeah,
In fact, I can
but
still see in my memory now. I can
yeah,
see the front of the
yeah,
vinyl,
I know.
the image on it, and then
You
that
never
image
forget
enough
it.
was enough to scare me.
Yeah, yeah, you never forget it.
So
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 go and
now
listen,
obviously you're a
everyone,
Beverly
and
Knight
Bat
super
Out
fan.
Hell.
Pardon?
Yeah,
And Bats Out of Hell.
and Bat Out Hell. Yeah.
Mm.
Um.
My ex was a massive Meatloaf fan.
Yeah. I mean, he's live. I've seen some footage of him live, and no, just no. But that album is a seminal album in life. I think you need to listen to it and go and
Yeah.
experience it.
That's what it is. It's
Um.
an experience, and sometimes you get an
Yeah.
album and it's an experience. And just to nip back to your lovely lady
Yeah.
wife,
Please. No. No. No.
the reason I probably had Affirmation in my head as an album was
Mm.
that got me that album. Some of the songs on that, well, probably all of the songs on that album, got me through a really tough period of my life. And just the other day, I was listening to Tea and Sympathy off that album, and it takes
Mm.
me right back there. And it really
Mm.
gets me through. But I said to Beverly when I spoke to her, "Shape of You" off the previous album,
Mm.
my childhood dog was put to sleep, and I listened to that song so much, and it's still
Oh.
the high note that she reaches at the end still brings. In fact, it's bringing tears to my eyes just thinking of that
Oh.
high note.
Bless.
Because I was asking her, like, how does it feel to know that you've kind of been part of people's lives in that way? It must be mad. It must be such a mental thing to get your head around and
Yeah. It must.
contemplate.
It must. And she realizes that it's a. She's super grateful about it and honored to be that. And I think that's why she cares so much about people and genuinely, because she realizes that she's in a very lucky position, and
Mm.
you know uh, it's a privilege and an honor to do something like that for people. It must be. I mean, I I see a small part of it. I obviously never
Mm.
realize it fully. Um, but just to see what she does and how she interacts with people is an honor for me, and makes me want to be a better person. And because I have to be there sometimes. Well, not sometimes, all the time. I'm the bad cop. I have to like tell people, just no more, just get out of the way, please. We've got to go.
Mm. That must be
But
a
you can't
hard
have.
thing to deal with. That.
Not really. I'm miserable, so it's fine. I'm great.
That works.
Exactly. When you're like, when you no, it's not. But I've got the more of the, I've got the streak in me that can just be like, nah, enough now. You're taking the mick.
She won't
Um,
remember actually, but about 11 or 12 years ago, I recorded a version of. I think she'd recorded it, but it was Trouble by Coldplay, and I
right.
recorded it, and I. Just on the off chance, I put it on something, I can't remember what, and I
Mhm.
contacted Beverly through some medium, and I don't even know if it was
Mhm.
Twitter back then,
Yeah.
and asked her to listen to it, and she gave me some really good critique, and I went away and thought about that, and I try and include it now because I'm in a band, and I try every time I'm
Ah,
singing, I think of that critique. Yeah, I suppose every time I think of it,
wicked.
and it really helped me, that, because it really
Yeah.
made me think, hang on, yeah, I do need to introduce more light and shade, which is what she said, into my performance. I need to think about what I'm singing and not just think about hitting the notes right and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was really good advice, and in a way it kind of helps me enjoy my singing more now.
Yeah, well, I
It,
think if you're better at something,
mm,
then you enjoy it more, don't you? If you're struggling all the time and you're like, and you're
yeah,
like, it's not fun, is it? Because
you've obviously heard me with that impression.
well, I didn't want to say. Uh, you gave me a little go beforehand, and it wasn't good. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You really
Uh,
are miserable.
I know. I just like to be mean.
I'm
It's the
joking.
best way.
What's the weather like there in that there London anyway? You're in North London, aren't you?
You know, it rains and then it's blistering sunshine, then it rains again, it's cold, and then it's blistering sunshine, then it rains again, then it's blistering sunshine.
That's
So
mad
that,
because
you
I'm
know,
like 250 miles away from you, and we've got exactly the same here.
yeah, well, we are in the UK. When everyone always gets surprised about the weather, I'm like, where have you lived for the
Yeah.
past 40 years or whatever? I've
Mhm.
lived in the UK, which has been pretty much seven different, seasons, if there even are seven different seasons, but I've
There
just
are
made
now.
a couple up. Yeah, I've just made them up. Um, in one day. That's a song, isn't it? Seven seasons? No, it's not.
If it's
Um,
not, then there's a new one
it
for the
should.
next album.
I do. Bev, she just doesn't realise my skills. She will one day. When I bring out a number one album, she'll
do,
know.
do it. Do it. Collaboration with Mark
No,
Knight.
no, no. I just do it on my own. I don't need a collaboration.
Have you got a favourite song of hers?
Yeah. Wow. Yes, because
You said yes straight away without thinking then, and now
I
I'm
have.
questioning it.
Yes. No, no, no. I have. Like if you said to me to pick one song that she's ever done, it's 100%
Okay.
because that she wrote that, and then and then we played it when we were walking into our wedding. So in
Oh,
down the aisle, it was the instrumental version of that because she wrote that about me,
I was gonna ask. I
about
was gonna ask
meeting me.
that.
So
That was my next
that
question.
kind of melts me somewhat.
That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. It's almost like what a privileged position that is to be in. You know, that's it. That's it. Now that song is always about you. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I mean, it is, it's very humbling and, it is a beautiful, it's a beautiful thing to have that. Yeah. So I'm lucky. And then, you know, I suppose she made, I Want to Be Your Lover. She sang to me at our wedding as well
Hmm.
on stage. So, we were having this big, amazing party with Jocelyn Brown singing and Bev's band and different band members were singing and, just everyone was jumping up singing and she sang I Want to Be Your Lover, but, from Prince. So that was pretty special as well.
That was another going to be another question. Were you a Prince fan before meeting
Yeah,
Bev?
well, so here's the thing. So my sister is and was an absolute maniac Prince fan. I mean maniac, like the levels of Bev. Like they were, insane when all it was about Prince when we were young, and so I just got subjected to Prince all the time, posters, films, music all the time. I was like, it's just weird. I don't get him. But I did enjoy his music. You can't go through that and that's not seep into into your bones and everything. And then obviously when I'm at Bev, I was like, oh my God, she's insane as well. Um, but then obviously 3 months after we met, well, not obviously, I don't know why I said obviously. 3 months after we met, I was on stage meeting him.
Oh
So
my God.
that was a bit random.
3 months, and that's when you
Three
must have thought,
months.
"Hang on, this is what's in store for me."
Yeah,
Craziness.
I did think, this is a little odd. Um, but yeah, it's when Bev did we did the 21 nights at the O2.
Mm.
So Bev went to I think all of them, and then
Did she go to all
she
of them? Oh my
yeah
God.
she warm well she warmed she was the warm up for Prince for
No.
4 nights I believe,
Hmm.
and she did 3 after show parties or 4 or whatever for like 4 hours. It was nuts. It was absolutely bonkers. I mean, just yeah. And my sister actually came, so that was pretty special to have her there as well was really cool. She was in the UK back that time, and yeah, it was just unbelievable.
Well, I'm hoping to meet my idol in December. So.
But I'll be there. Don't worry. You can meet me whenever. Oh,
15th.
you're not talking about me. Oh,
You as well. You as well. Why not?
oh, you've crushed me now.
No,
Crushed me.
obviously, I
No, it's
meant as
fine.
a couple.
No, that's it now.
Hey, listen, I never once said no.
Yeah,
And
I
you
know.
know,
Bless you.
I never once confirmed who I was talking about.
Oh, bless
I'm still
you.
very much open to the, I'm meeting both my idols.
That's right. That's better. Yeah, we can cut. We'll just cut that out. Don't worry. We'll cut and paste.
Oh, meet him,
No
Devin
one need,
James. Do you
no
go by the
one
name
need
James or
never
Jim?
know. Whatever. So some people call me Jim. So my friends from old, because like particularly boys or blokes call me Jim.
Mm.
Even now, some blokes call me Jim, and women call me James because my mum and my sister call me James. So it feels it's wrong to be called Jim from a woman. It's weird. It's like a weird, like I've got these two kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's probably the part of two parts of my brain. One's like nuts and the other's even more nuts.
So are you classing Jim and James as different there, different personalities?
Not anymore. No, I probably would have done in the past, but not anymore.
When you were a free and single
No,
lad?
when I was a wrong un.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And a wrong and not from London. You're not from London originally, are you?
Well, I was born in Norwich, but at 6 months old, I moved back to London because my parents were both London, and we lived there for 6 years, and then
Mm.
we moved to back to Norwich till I was 24, and
Yeah.
then I escaped Norwich at 24,
Escape.
and I did escape just with my life. Just seriously, it was some crazy times there. And yeah, and then been in London since 1999.
Good time. I think that's when I moved to London. No, I didn't. I moved to London in 2000, maybe 2001.
Okay.
Stayed there
It's
maybe
only
for
one of the
14
it's
years.
one of the very very few dates that I remember in my life. I remember exactly the date. I remember exactly what I did. I remember the situation I was in because it was so horrendous. It'll be etched in my memory forever. But it was also a brilliant time because it was you know it was such a big move for me and such a random thing to do. So yeah, it was just brilliant.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, yeah,
Go on then,
yeah.
take me back. Start at the start.
Well, I won't start, but basically in Norwich, I was just a wild person, very, very, uh, into everything, just all
Mm.
the bad stuff. I used to go to football and fight and do stupid things. I used to fight at school, be in trouble. I was that kid.
Where was that coming from? Do you know?
I don't know. Apparently, I was angry from two.
Okay.
And then my mum and dad split up when I was young, and then just the usual stuff. Then we were a council estate and blah 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 blah.
Mm.
Struggling. Mum was struggling to bring us up, and then a crap father figure came in, so there was problems there. It was all the classic. My
Yeah.
dad was an alcoholic,
Yeah.
so it was all the good stuff. All the stuff that now in hindsight makes you strong and makes you
Mm.
resilient and makes you tough and makes you. So I wouldn't change any of it, but at the time it's tough. But yeah, then school was just I was just that kid.
Mm.
And then that turned to going out and going to football, fighting, doing stupid things, and then that went to partying and loads of drink, loads of drugs, and just doing all really bad things to kind of
Yeah.
keep surviving and just fighting all the time in life and in general. Um, and then at 24, moving, I managed to lie my way into a job which I always seemed pretty good at. you know,
Okay.
Lying was pretty good. But when you're young and when you're hustling, you think like lying's a part of life.
Mm.
That's a funny thing. Like you think, I used to lie a lot, and I used to fabricate stuff, and just but it was all for hustle, I thought, but it wasn't. It was all for insecurity, and to mask really how upset or how scared I was, or whatever, or how insecure I felt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then moved to London, managed to, as I say, blag away a job for a friend. But that's a funny story because I got a job at Sky TV,
Yeah.
at Isleworth, right, and in the prop department. So like Soccer AM and all of them shows, I
Mm.
used to build the props, but build the sets. But I'd never done it before, so I just lied and said I had. Um,
Been there. Been there. Done
Basically
that.
made up a CV that was complete fabrication as well.
Mm.
I mean, utter fabrication. I went down there and worked with them for a week. I went to London for a whole week. My friend already had a job there, so he got me in there, and I did a whole week. And at the end of the week, it was my birthday. It was my So 99 is my so 23rd, 24th birthday. Yeah, 24th birthday.
Yeah.
And they told me there was no job there for me, so I was devastated.
Ooh.
And I remember going back to my mate's house, and he had to work late, so I was sitting on his doorstep in London on the A4 with like cars going past, pouring with rain, and I'm sitting on his doorstep just thinking, yeah, this is bad. Like my life's even worse than it was like a week ago.
Jesus.
So, I had some pretty nasty people in Norwich wanting to do bad things to me because I owed them money.
Yeah.
But then I went back to Norwich, continued to work with my brother, who at the time wasn't a great person to be working with.
Mm.
So it was going nowhere, that kind of stuff. And then they rang me and said, "Oh, we have got a job for you." And I was like, "Oh my God." I rang my mum, said, "What shall I do? Shall I go?" She said, "You have to go." So I went, and that was it. And I moved. So 20 years ago, I moved to London with a bin bag full of clothes, 7 grand in debt, by some pretty nasty people,
Mm.
and into a single bed in a shared house. And that was
Wow.
it in
Wow.
1999.
But that's kind of taken into consideration everything now. That's really inspirational. Like where
Well,
you are now.
yeah, I don't think I don't think like that still, because I'm pretty tough on myself. I'm still like, well, I haven't achieved what I want yet, and I haven't done this and I haven't done that. But weirdly, from all of that, these are the things that I take from. When I was young, I was a cocky kid because I was insecure.
Mm.
So I would just say things, like, well, I was a mouthy kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to always say, oh, I'll be back in London before I'm 25. I'm like, just giving it bravado. Like, no idea, no qualifications, no schooling, I didn't get any GCSEs, I didn't get anything. And literally on my 24th birthday, I moved back to London. And then, so many other things, Richard, have happened that I didn't realize, but I was projecting it out into the world. And I didn't realize that I was doing that. And I didn't even know that was a thing. I had no one teaching me, telling me. There was no internet, there was no YouTube with motivational speeches, The Rock telling me great things, you know what I mean? Or like,
Mm.
I didn't have any of that. I just had nothing, and yeah, it's weird, I think back now and I'm like, oh my God, how did, and I'm so grateful for it. And I'm so lucky that it's worked out like that, and through hard work and being
Mm.
positive and yeah, just staying on that path.
Well, this is it. There's, I mean, what kind of a lot of what you've just said is resonating with me because I have my a family member staying with me at the minute who's going through very very similar things
Mm,
that you used to be going through. Um, Lots bags of anger,
mm,
in debt to the wrong kind of people for the wrong kind of
mm-hmm,
things.
mm-hmm,
And it was only yesterday that I was kind of almost saying what you were just saying
mm,
to him just yesterday. Look at your uncle. Look at your uncle Andrew. He was in the same situation. Look where he is now. Look what he's done. Look how you can change things around. There is a future.
mm.
There can be a future. Don't resign yourself to one thing because that's where you are at the time. And
Yeah,
kind of, you just kind of what you were just saying made me think of him. It's like, wow, you were where he is now.
it's so hard to like, I think about, oh, I never had a mentor. I never had people telling me, that I could do better, or I always had teachers telling me I'd do nothing. So, um,
Mm.
but when I
Great
think
teachers,
back,
them.
yeah, but it wasn't their fault. I was a little shit. So what are they gonna do?
Encourage.
Yeah, but it's difficult when there's a lunatic in front of you who's a horrible piece of work. They're normal. They're humans.
Yeah.
They're not infallible to reactions, and some little shit being horrible to them and really dark. Sometimes. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't blame them. I actually like like I got kicked out at 15 and a half. I don't blame my mum. I don't blame my dad for the problems we had. I don't blame me, but I take ownership of it all. You know, I take ownership that I could have been a different person and done it a different way and been better and been, you know, happy. And I could have just changed my, you know, you can change how you feel. You just have to get past how you feel. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
Like,
you don't blame your
go,
mum or dad
no,
for
no,
any of that,
no way.
but your anger, your insecurities, did they maybe come from your dad? I mean, how was your relationship with your dad when you were growing up?
I can't really remember. I blocked most of it out. I mean, he just
Mm,
used to take us to pubs every weekend, and you know that was it.
mm,
That was our kind of thing with him, and let us down all the time. So my relationship with him, you know, I suppose I just wanted to be loved by him, and you know, and that was where that insecurity comes from.
yeah.
You know, you just want to be loved when, you know, all of us do. Like human beings, we just want to be loved. We want to feel like we're making a difference. We want to feel like we're special, you
Mm,
know, and in reality, we're not. We're just, you know, none of us are special. We're just doing our thing, really. We're a little speck in, you know, and I think if you can, I think if you can have that, be that humble, but also know that you're a good person. You know what I mean? You
mm.
haven't got to think, oh, you know, I'm the best this, I'm the best since sliced bread or whatever. But I think you have got to still love yourself. You know what I mean? But which is something I've always struggled with. But I just think it's yeah. I think it's just that journey, you know, that we're on. You've got to stay humble, and you've got to not believe your own hype, but you've also got to not get too low either. It's a wave curve, like an AC, like a, you know, like the how what it looks like. There's a
Mm,
line, there's like a horizontal line, and it goes just below and just above. That's
mm.
kind of what I think we need to do as humans, is not get too high and not get too low. So I think that's when the issues start.
Do you ever congratulate yourself for what you have done, though, for what you have achieved?
Yeah, yeah. Kind of, yeah. I'm not great at it because I'm always pushing on and always trying to do more and better. And but yeah, I do. You know, I suppose, you know, sitting here talking to you, when I think about where I've come from, yeah, I'm proud of myself.
Hmm.
You know, but I go, okay, I'm proud of myself. Now crack on, you know.
Yeah, but at least you are taking that, however small amount of time that may be. At least you are taking that time to appreciate the hard work, the dedication, you know, the things that you've put in, and the track that you've gone on, the course that
Yeah,
you've taken.
I think you have to, yeah. But I'm still not very good at, you know, like if people say, "Oh, you love yourself," and you've got to love yourself, and I'm working on that. You know, I work on that every day to try and be a bit kinder to myself, you
It
know, and a
kind of
bit,
goes again. You're a similar generation to me, and when I was growing up, that was called boasting, and I was told that that
ex-
wasn't good.
exactly,
So
stop
it
showing
kind of
off
goes
and
against
stop
that.
boasting and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
whereas it seems nowadays it's like it's almost the other way.
yeah,
Almost
yeah.
maybe bordering on arrogance, dare I
Uh,
say it?
I
And
I
that's the way
mean,
to be.
yep, I agree, and I think that's seeped in from America, which is good. There's good to it,
Mm-hmm.
but I really think there's a way we can do it with a humble approach as well. You know what I
Mm.
mean? With
Yeah,
a
and
little bit
taking
of
others into consideration.
self-deprecation and yeah, and a bit, you know, take the piss out of yourself a bit, and you know, just don't take it too serious. Don't take yourself too seriously, and don't take other people, you know, be listen to people and empathize, but that, you know, just don't take it all too seriously, because
Mm.
really it's just not worth it. We're all here, you know, for a short amount of time, you know.
It's funny when you say that because I kind of draw parallels to when I was a teenager. My two favourite musical acts are Your Good Lady Wife, that was
Bless
my
you.
serious side. That was me taking myself seriously. That was me with a grown up, as I saw it, a grown up music taste. And then
Mm,
my other big love was the Spice Girls, and that was
exactly,
me
yeah,
having a
yeah,
laugh with myself and
and
just
it,
enjoying life and not caring. I mean, you know, I thank Beverly for so much, but the Spice Girls, as a 14-year-old, I think I was at the time, gay lad,
yeah,
not knowing who I was and
yeah,
scared to be who I was, they
Yeah, I
allowed me to
bet.
think,
I
hang on, I
bet.
can be exactly who I want to be, because they're five completely different people and every one of them are accepted. And
Yeah,
so it was like I had this serious side and then this mental, be yourself, go crazy side.
yeah,
And that's what it just made me think of. Then you saying that, don't take yourself too seriously, and yeah,
yeah.
and I kind of still live by still live
Well,
by
it's
that.
good, yeah, but because you can't, we can get a little caught up in ourselves of being, if we're, of just, and that's, I think it goes back to believing your own hype a bit too much.
Hmm.
That's what I think there's a bit of an issue with. Once you start believing that you're I'm going to be a bit crude, but your poo doesn't stink. That's when you're going to start having problems, I think.
You can say shit.
So yeah, yeah. I'm not uncouth like you. How dare you? I'm posh, remember,
You are
darling.
posh.
Uh, um,
From humble
yeah.
beginnings.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. Yeah. So that's yeah. That's what That's the kind of lessons I've learned. But again, what do I know? Genuinely, what I go back to what I said. I genuinely don't know whether that's right or wrong, because at the end of the day, if you're happy and you're not hurting anyone, then crack on however you are. You
That's what
know?
it comes down to me. Like whether you're hurting other people or whether you're suppressing other people.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
like you say, if you're happy and you're not hurting anyone, not
yeah,
suppressing anyone, you're
yeah.
willing to let others come up alongside you and stuff like that, then there's no problem. But
Or
when it
you're
comes to
willing to put them on your shoulders.
uh-huh,
That's the key, and
yeah,
that's what I struggled with a lot when I was young. Because when you've got nothing and you're
mm,
fighting and you're striving and you're insecure and you struggle to lift other people because you feel so downtrodden. And
yeah,
that is what we need to get over in life, and ego and all of that. I think that's a huge factor to get over, is to try and lift other people, and it will end up lifting you,
yeah. And
you know.
I think the problem that we've got as a society, if we're going down the metaphor route, is the people willing to put other people on their shoulders are the ones with one leg, or with no legs.
Mm,
The ones that are the big strong people that can, pick someone up and stick them on the shoulders. There's not enough of them.
yeah,
There's not enough
yeah,
willing to do that.
yeah, I agree.
And
Right,
so
that's
we're
good.
kind of,
Yeah,
well, let's not talk
yeah.
about society at the minute in Britain. It's
Ah, I
not
think
bad
I think
in some
no,
ways.
I think I do agree with you in a lot of ways, but I also do think that we are. I think we're good. Genuinely, I
Mm,
do think we are. I think there's an element, but I like with race and everything. I just and homophobes, and I just think there's an element, and I think the young people coming through now are so brilliant, and so I think there's so many ways that they are just excellent human beings,
hmm
and we when we spend time with some of our friends who've got older children, you sit there and talk to them, you think, God, you're really nice. You know what I mean?
I
Like
do love, yeah,
really nice.
I love hanging around.
Yeah,
If I spend time with, there's a little lad that lives down the road that comes and cuts my grass and stuff, and he's a little
yeah.
entrepreneur. He goes around the village with a little
That's like
bike with a
me.
little trailer.
That's like me. Yeah,
Yeah,
when I was
and he's
young.
brilliant, and he gets so much
Yeah,
flack for it, and he gets bullied for doing it
yeah,
from
yeah,
older people. And I'm not talking older kids;
yeah,
I'm talking older
yeah,
people in their
yeah,
20s, early 30s. And I'm
yeah.
like, is it jealousy because he's willing to put himself out there and do what it takes? And he will literally do anything, paint your garage
Yeah.
door, or
Good lad.
he's brilliant. He's brilliant, and I love spending time with him when he's cutting my
Yeah,
grass and stuff, going and speaking to him. And
yeah.
he's got such a great work ethic.
Yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, I think some of our friends who are musicians or whatever, big, quite kind of big musicians. Their kids are just amazing. You think, God damn, how did I was a twat, you know. If my parents were like whoever, I'd have been a bigger twat. You know what I mean? I'd have been like bowling around in like a Ferrari or whatever. It just, so it just. I think we're a little harsh on young people. I think we're a bit harsh at the moment on society. But my friend always jokes me. He's like, "Oh, you like people, I don't." I'm like, well, I think we're inherently good, but I think, you know, I think we're gonna. I don't know. We're obviously doomed, of course, in the end. But I think we're
Yeah.
gonna be all right for a while.
And let's end it there. No, I'm only
Yeah,
joking.
yeah, yeah.
Joking.
And literally,
Not.
let's end everything there.
Let's not end it there. Your dad was an Irish immigrant, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. I'm actually 56. I did a thingy test the other day, and I'm 56% Irish.
56.
Yep.
So your mum must have been 6% Irish.
No, I don't know. Yeah, she's a bit of Irish, and but yeah, I'm 56% Irish, 19 Scottish. I'm 3% Welsh,
Oh,
and then
very Celtic.
yeah, yeah, and then 22% Northern Europe and English.
Oh
So
wow! I keep meaning
yeah,
to do one of those tests myself, and then I always
yeah,
forget to get
it
round
was
to it.
pretty cool. Do you know what? It's quite a nice thing to buy. My mum bought it for me and Bev, so it was quite a
Mm,
nice thing to, we like. I don't need like I do actually need some socks sometimes, but I don't need presents like that. So that was really thoughtful and a lovely thing to receive.
that is lovely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. Yeah. I'm hoping my mother-in-law is listening to this, or my
yeah.
mum,
Come on,
and they
come
might do
on,
the same.
come on, mum, sort it out,
Get me and Sam some so we know where we come from.
isn't it?
How much did your dad, being an immigrant, if at all, play into your childhood? Play into who you are?
Not at all,
Not at
as
all.
far as I know. Nah, I mean, I can't even remember my dad being around when I was young. He was always working in the pub, and then I just remember him. He wasn't much of an influence, I don't think, in my life, really.
Mm,
Like if I think back, because I didn't really know him, and he was such a hard person to be around because he was just a very, very complex man. Great at times, like a brilliant person to be around, but you know, and came up with a few classic lines as well. He was, yeah. So, but yeah, I didn't really take anything from. I think work wise, he used to work pretty hard, but he said, "Oh, most of my work's done in the pub." So I'm like, I probably won't take that from your dad. Thank you. I'll leave you. You do that one. I'm all right.
oh,
But
okay.
yeah, no, yeah, but it's funny because my uncle's big into like the family tree and all of that, and he's done all of that, and apparently we've got a crest, and and blah blah blah, and I just, I'm weirdly, I'm just not that into it.
But you've got
I'm
a
not. I just,
crest, so you are
yeah,
posh.
but I don't really. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I know, I knew I was posh anyway. I don't need a crest to tell me.
Yeah, you sound it. You got that posh
Very,
accent.
I'm very, very posh, don't you know?
Do you feel extremely posh when you? Sorry, that's just made me laugh. When you sign a freezer in your back garden.
Always. And I don't feel posh, I feel posh when I'm
Posh.
in my free, yeah.
Please explain the ice baths to me.
Well, um, you just need to get in one and then you'll know. How about that?
That's great. In the early 2000s, I lived with
Yeah,
a friend. A friend of mine
yeah,
moved down to London,
yeah,
and we used to listen to I don't know, Smooth or something like that before we were going to bed, and we
yeah,
used to wait until midnight, and they did you could phone up and request a song. So we used to wait till midnight and we'd phone up and try and request either a Gladys Knight song or a Beverly Knight song, and it was
yeah,
always it was always the same one. But
yeah,
we used to also do. We used to try and do something mad afterwards. After we'd try and got our song on the radio, which we never managed to do. So then we used to get up and do something mad. And one of the things was we used to fill a bath full of cold water, pour all the ice cubes in it, and dare each other to get in.
Well, there you go then. You've already done it.
No. I never got in.
Oh, you big baby.
He used to. This is going to sound mad now. He used to wearing a wig. So,
That's fine. That's
so
okay.
he'd be sat in this freezing cold bath at,
Yeah,
I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning wearing a
yeah,
wig, which he found hilarious. I
yeah.
don't know what it did to him though, but I could never do it. I mean, it was only
Made him feel good.
probably, but it was only not last week, the week before, that I went swimming in a lake, because I've always had this thing with cold water. It's
Mm,
it's it's really mad. But I remember stood at the side of a swimming pool just outside Barcelona once,
yeah.
and it was
Oh, where in
3 hours before I could
Barcelona?
get
Was
in.
it Titges? Is that what it's called?
Sitges. No, I've never been
Sitges,
there.
yeah.
I
Oh
can't.
my God, so cool. But anyway,
Is
come on,
it? No,
sorry.
I've never been
Yeah.
there. It was one of the
Oh,
costas.
Sitges,
What?
brilliant. Right, yeah,
I'm not sure where. I
yeah.
can't
You'd
remember.
like it in Sitges, yeah,
I've been told.
yeah.
I've been told
Very,
things about Sitges that I'd like.
yeah, yeah.
Venture out there, but I still won't get in a pool. No, three
Yeah.
hours it took me anyway to get in this pool, and in the end, everyone that was originally after about 1 hour cheering for me to get in had all
Yeah.
walked off, and that's when
Oh
the
my
pressure had
God.
left. So then I was able to get in, but only up to my waist. I hate cold water, so I
Right,
don't know if I'd be able to do these ice baths that I see
right.
you and Bev doing on Instagram and stuff.
Listen. You can, and that's all I'm going to say. Because if Beverly Knight, yeah, can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do it. And I'm telling you that from the bottom of my heart. Anyone can go and get in an ice bath if Beverly can get in there.
But what does it do
That's
to you
it.
physically?
So there's a guy called Wim Hof, okay,
Uh-huh.
and if you go Google him and have a look into what he does, do
Yeah,
his
heard of it.
breathing and then get into the cold bath after. But you don't have to get in a cold bath. You just start on a cool shower,
Hmm.
and then progressively get colder and colder and colder and longer, and then progress into cold water and ice bath and blah 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 blah. That's the thing to do with the breathing and the but the physical effects. Firstly, the main reason I did it was mental health. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It gives me a not only does it give me a win every day. It if I can get out of bed at quarter to 6 in the morning when it's 2 degrees outside, and this is what I started off doing, and then take my dog to Hampstead Heath, and then at 7 in the morning I'm swimming in a 2 degree pond in the
Hmm.
middle of London. If I can do that and then come home and start the day at like 7:30 and go and do whatever I'm doing in life, what else can I achieve? And that for me is the mentality. If you could put yourself through that every day, then I can do anything. And that's not because I think I'm brilliant, because I really don't, and I'm not. But I think, well, if I could win that in that way, what else can I do? And how, and for me, that's what it's about. But then you get the other benefits from it. You get the your blood works better around your body. Your inflammation is lowered. You get your nervous system is stronger. Your immune system is stronger. And what is the coronavirus? What is that all about? It's immune attacking. So if you've got a strong immune system by getting in cold water, then you're going to be better off health wise.
Hmm.
And obviously if people stop stuffing McDonald's and cans of Coke down their face as
Yeah.
well, that is going to help. But if you can get into cold water, and the other thing is, this is not me saying it, this is like the top people in the world say it, we're too comfortable in life.
Uh-huh.
We're in our insulated, we walk around insulated. So that's why I'm always in a pair of shorts and no socks and no top and no shoes, because we're insulated. So
On behalf of my community, I thank you for that.
you're so bad. People haven't seen me though. They'll be like, "Oh, no, thanks." Um,
Not everyone I've
um,
shown.
you're so wrong. Bless you.
Shout out
I'm
to
a
my good friend Natasha.
I'm a work in progress. I tell everyone. But yeah, so it's about putting yourself in an uncomfortable position, and putting yourself through hardship to become stronger, and that's called hormosis. And that is what we do when we go to the gym, or we run a marathon, or we do whatever. It breaks you down a little bit, but you come back stronger. And that's needs to be a reoccurring thing in your life if you want to prosper, I believe, in life. But
Yeah.
again, what do I know?
Well, funny enough, you just made me think that actually it would be really beneficial to me.
It would.
I have an autoimmune disease with psoriasis,
Right, that.
but
Yeah,
it
well,
manifests as a psoriatic arthritis
right,
in my heel. So it's not like extensive or anything like that. But
right.
you made me, when you were talking about the circulation and stuff like that, and the immunity, and it
Yeah.
would probably be very very
Well,
very
it's not
beneficial.
probably. So here's the thing.
Okay, it will be.
Yeah, it will, honestly, and I'm going to tell you off because you need to do it. So I'm going to get stern with you because you need to do it. Simple.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I've
will.
told you now. So
I'll
you will.
invest in a chest freezer.
You don't have to invest in chest freeze. You need to go into after you have a hot shower in the morning. You need to turn it to cold, and you need to stay in there as long as you can and breathe.
Well, I'll tell you
Breathe
what I
through
do
it.
do. If I am having a, if when I'm having a bath,
Yep.
I do tend to start the bath hot, but then have the
Yeah.
cold tap running, because I can do that. If it goes progress, it's almost like those reverse bungee jumps where you get
Yeah.
fired into the air.
Yeah.
I can do
Yeah.
that, but I couldn't do the bungee jump jumping
Right.
off. So it's
Have
almost like
you?
that.
Yeah. Have you got a shower head in your bath? Have you got like a shower over a bath?
Yeah.
Right. Well, then have a bath and then stand up and put a cool shower on you. That's your goal.
Okay.
Because
That'll be my
be,
next. That's what
yeah,
I'll do tonight then.
just try because listen with psoriasis. So you said psoriasis, yeah, you've
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
So I've got psoriasis, and I'm also got an underactive thyroid.
Mm.
So by rights, I should be like, so a lot of people blame their thyroid for putting weight on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that it doesn't actually put weight on you. What it does is it makes you feel sad. And it does, it makes you depressed. It can make you, I mean, if you read underactive thyroid, if you Google underactive thyroid and read the side effects, you want to kill yourself now. Just like, I don't want any of them. So I have to work on these things every day with diet and exercise, cold water, the way I live my life mentally, all of those things to not become a victim of it, because you can easily become a victim of these things because you tell yourself, oh, well, I've got this. So, oh, I can't do that, or oh, I can't do, or, and I just think we shouldn't believe. Sometimes, again, it comes back to not believing your own bullshit and your own hype, because sometimes what your brain's telling you is not the truth.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, with the arthritis in my heel, it was really bad at the beginning of the first lockdown, but I
Mm-hmm.
managed to walk 100 miles in 2 weeks, and I was chuffed with
Mm-hmm.
that because
Mm-hmm.
I've never been one to, and I'm not trying to take anything away from people that are who are suffering or anything
Mm-hmm.
during this, but I've never been one to maybe read something on Google or be told something by a doctor and then stick with it. I like to
Mm.
challenge it.
Good, because
So
like psoriasis is not psoriasis. Arthritis is only inflammation. It's your body telling you that you're doing something wrong, and this is becoming a problem. So it's either the food you're putting in you, the drink, or you're not moving enough, or you're doing something incorrectly. You need to help yourself. You're in disease. You've got a dis-ease of something. So you need to correct that somehow, and you could try every single way before you go and try medication or drugs or this, that, and the other.
yeah,
Why wouldn't you try everything, and then including cold water and hot and cold and all of that? That with me would be because but that's the way my brain works, is try everything and try, because you might learn from it, you might grow from it, rather than just taking a pill or an injection or something. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's
That's
kind of it might work, so why not try it first?
well,
Doesn't work, try
also.
something else.
Well, also you're taking the the onus of it on yourself. It again comes back to the extreme ownership. The way I live is everything is down to how I choose it to be, or how I take that on me. It's not anyone else. It's me,
Yeah.
and that's that I believe, well, it works for me, and whether it works for anyone else, then. But yeah, again, and it all comes back to who knows. I
Well,
certainly don't.
I've just started. I've just taken up swimming.
Great.
So that was because
But obviously, you mean in rivers, yeah, not in a swimming pool.
no, in a swimming pool.
Well, then, come on now.
See, I just I
Come
went
on
in a lake a
now,
couple of weeks ago and
Richard.
I really
There you go.
enjoyed it.
There
But
you
I'm
go.
not
Get
sure if
back
I
out
would have
there
done
then.
that if I hadn't taken up swimming in a swimming pool.
Okay, well, why don't you now just go and find open water swimming and just go and do that now? Obviously, be safe and don't, go into like, someone that's going to do. But why don't you start doing that as much as you can? I'm
Well,
sure you've
do you
got
know
some
what?
beautiful open water places in Wales, haven't you?
There is a gorgeous lake, not that far away, and it's one of my favourite places. So yeah, maybe I will.
So
maybe
the other
maybe I will.
benefits of open water swimming is it's grounding, it's earthing. So when you swim in natural water, it grounds you, so it earths you, so you're connected to the earth's frequency. So it's helping your whole body with inflammation, with everything. It's connecting you back to the earth. So
Yeah.
you're getting the benefits. You're not getting any pollute. Well, you're getting a little bit of pollution, but you're not getting the chlorine, which
I
is horrendous
yeah.
for you.
I know what would
So
help me. Next time you and Bev have a couple of days,
come up to
if
Wales,
you
yeah?
come up to North Wales, I will
Yeah.
get in. I promise I will get in a lake if you get
Okay.
in a lake.
Yeah. I'm in. You haven't got look. Everywhere we go, so it doesn't matter where we are, what we're doing.
Hmm.
I'm like, I'm going to find some water, and I'll go anywhere. Doesn't matter where it is. I will go anywhere, and I will find water.
Yeah.
It's literally. I just people think I'm insane.
Well, no,
Well, I
I
am,
have a
but
connection with water, but my connection is the holidays that I tend to go on tend to be on cruises.
Uh,
So that's my
yeah,
connection to water.
yeah. That's not
Slightly
because you can't
different.
actually ever go in the water. That's the problem.
It
You're
is
just
slight, yeah,
looking
it
at
is
it
slightly
all the
different.
time.
I'll give you that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
But
that's
anyway, yeah.
a way
So
that you look
that's
after your mental health. Then,
yeah, it is
pushing
partly,
yourself,
yeah,
and
yeah,
but also doing something that grounds you, makes you feel connected to the earth.
yeah. Now here's the thing. The flip side of that is, and this is why life is such a weird, double-sided thing because I've got a morning routine and I've got set routines because I'm quite mentally like that. Bev says I'm OCD. I disagree with her, but then when I'm lining stuff up, I'm like, okay, maybe you are. But let's not talk about that. Let's gloss over that. But yeah, it's for me having more routines and stuff is great, but the problem with it is if you don't do the routine, then can give myself a hard time. So you have to
Mm,
balance that. So that's again another balancing act in life, like
mm,
everything, isn't
mm.
it?
Well,
So
funny enough,
yeah,
I talk to my clients about giving yourself a goal, but if you don't achieve that goal, don't punish yourself straight away.
yeah,
So, yeah, finding that balance of making sure that you do try to do it,
yeah.
but try not to be too hard on yourself if you
You,
can't, or for some reason
you have,
something
but
gets in
you've
the way.
got to be accountable to yourself like that. That's why it's good to have people you can be accountable to,
Mm,
because then they can, because I think we are too easy on ourselves though
mm.
in this world. I do think we're like, oh, that's okay, I tried, well I was third, that's okay. No, how about slap round the head and try and be better, but in a nice way about it. You know what I mean? You haven't got to beast yourself, but just
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to slap around the head. I'd say
no, I
maybe
know I'm
maybe
only
try
yeah.
again.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. But yeah, maybe a clip round it. No, I'm kidding. Um, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's just, I think but again, that's a really fine balancing act, Richard, isn't it? It's like
Mm.
that's and if anyone can get me the balance on that, I'm in. I'll pay whatever money there is for that.
Can I be honest with you? I'm sat here now looking at my back garden, wondering where I could fit an ice bath.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
What's wrong with you? What's going on?
You love it.
You
You'll be
sending
there.
like these messages through the
Yeah,
airwaves.
you'll do it soon. I'll come and help you out with it. Don't worry. I'll
Because
come up and I'll help you install it and get it right, and then you can get in there, and I'll
no,
help you.
see, the problem with that is then I haven't got an excuse to say no.
I know. That's what I'm doing. What do you think I'm offering to come all the way to Wales to help you install a freezer?
Well, if you were to do that, I promise I'll take you to a gorgeous lake so you can actually do some open water swimming as well. Now, do you
Okay.
know what? Actually, the lake that I go to it's dreamy. I love going there, taking the dogs. They love to have a swim.
See, and there you go. So you get all of that,
Yeah.
and you get to swim in natural water that grounds you, that you feel grateful for. If you just go down your local baths, yeah, it's great, but it's like you're just there with chlorine coming in and out of your nose, and
Yeah.
you're not really. It's the whole experience, isn't it, of going in a beautiful lake, open water. Oh, I went there yesterday into Hampstead Heath,
Mm.
and the sun came out, and it was like 7:30 at night.
It's
It's
magical, isn't
like
it?
Honestly, it was absolutely. I'd just taken Zane for a swim. He'd done his swim, and then he was waiting for me. And he just, it was, and then you just feel so grateful for life. You
Have
feel,
you
and that.
have you been in with
God,
Zane?
yeah, he swims. So on holiday and in other rivers and stuff. Yeah, we swim together.
See,
He's
my dogs are
faster than me.
weird.
I
If I
can't. I can't keep up with him.
my dogs love the water. Well, one of them, the Labrador, absolutely loves
Yeah.
the water. As soon as I get in the water, they stand on the side and just watch.
Ah,
They're really
funny.
weird. We were in
Bless him.
actually we were in the sea not long ago, a couple of weeks ago, in the sea just off Anglesey, and they
Yeah.
just stood there watching us as if it was the most weird thing in the world. I was like, no,
No,
come on
I.
in, Costa Sham, come on in, get in.
Yeah, no, he swims next, like literally next to me, like a foot away from me,
That's
and
beautiful.
we have races and stuff. It is beautiful. Like I was in, we were in Sudbury the other day at our friend's house,
I
and
love
and
Sudbury.
there's, yeah, really beautiful. And we went there, and I went and swam in the river, and he
Mm.
was with me, and people were like, thought I was a bit weird, but nothing new there.
No, I used to go down the river quite a lot on my mate's boat, and you see so many people swimming in it. But I was one of the ones that used to think, "Oh God, how can you do that? Isn't it freezing?"
I know
So I'm
you
like,
can do it.
boss,
You can do it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I can do it.
Yeah,
You've
there you
made
go.
me think this. You've made me think this. Right.
Everyone can do something a little bit more than they're doing
Well,
now.
I'm going to
Everyone.
stand up in the bath later on and put the
Yep,
shower on me.
do
The
it.
only problem that we have in our bathroom is there's no the shower's right next to the window, so we can't put any blinds there. And we were told by the vicar opposite that you can see everything when we're having a shower.
Great.
The
Even
poor
better.
vicar.
Even better. Vic is loving it. All he'd
Not
want
if
is
it's
if
a cold
I'm not
shower.
gonna,
You won't be able
mate.
to see anything.
I'm not gonna say. I wanted to say something really dark then, but I can't because that's really bad. Like
Tom,
really dark.
wait till
I'll
after
tell you
press stop
afterwards.
record.
I would if, oh, mate. That was like to hold everything back from saying something. Then.
That's all right. I'll edit that bit out.
Yeah, don't. No, leave it in.
Tell me about your
No.
podcast.
So
I
yeah,
wish that I'd
it's.
had the idea.
Oh
Brilliant
no,
idea.
bless. It's called the Plus Ones, and it's because I am the plus one,
Mm.
and it's actually a really hard concept because to get people to agree to come on is very difficult because they are the plus ones usually for a reason because they don't want to be in the public eye.
Yeah.
But it's about people in the pub who are the partners of the people in the public eye, and sometimes they're well-known people as well. And I've had some amazing people, and I'm about to bring the second series out. I'm just getting a few in the bank, so because as you know, it can be hard getting guests, and you then spend weeks,
Mm.
So yeah, then it's just again, kind of like you are. I love the mental health stuff, and I'm just interested in people, Richard. And I
Yeah.
just like that. I like that interaction and a laugh and and a bit of serious and then a laugh and then yeah. So I'm super grateful for it, and it was over lockdown. I thought, well, let's do something else as well, and let's push forward. Let's not be a victim like everything, and let's do something else, and more.
Brilliant concept. Can you
Thank you.
is there a massive have you noticed the difference between the celebrity and their partner in this sort of going along the opposites attract type of philosophy?
Yes, in a lot of ways, it's a weird one. I've noticed so many different things. There's. It's been really interesting, really interesting. People are gonna have to go and watch it to find out because there's some really great guests on there that have had fame themselves and
Yeah,
are famous and
Michael and Angelica.
yeah,
Bowie.
and Sam Kane and Linda Lusardi. Sam,
Mm.
you know, an amazing guy. But the second series coming out as well, with some really good guests and just brilliant. I'm so grateful for it, and hopefully it will get bigger, and one day. I'll sell it for 100 million like Joe Rogan, or get it on Spotify for 100 million, and
Did you
yeah,
watch
happy
the
day.
latest series of
No, good.
Celebrity Gogglebox?
Yes, some of it, not much.
You and Bev have to go on that. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. That's not what I was going to say, but that would be
Don't.
amazing.
She'd be so embarrassed. I'd just be
Really?
talking. Yeah, because I'm not. You can't. You can't. You got a sense of my mouth sometimes.
Oh, look at Denise Van Outen and her fella.
Yeah.
Come on, it's not.
Yeah.
You don't have to censor everyone. I would love to be on Gogglebox, but I said to my partner the other day, the amount of times we watch TV just completely naked because we're just fresh out of the bath or something.
Yeah. Poor Vicar or Lucky
Yeah,
Vicar.
exactly. They'd have to censor more than the language. No, but I can't remember who it was now. Is it Claire Balding? Was she on it?
Oh, was she?
I think she was
Oh,
on it with her
yes. Yeah.
partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And her
Yeah.
and her partner, I was like, I want to know them. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Try and get her on.
It's
She was amazing.
listen. It's so hard to get people. You know, weirdly, you think they'd be up for it, but they're just not. So yeah, I'm all over it though. There's a few that I'm seeking out. There really is, and if you're listening out there, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. You
So
shy,
yeah,
retiring types that like to be in the shadows. You're coming out of the
exactly,
shadows.
exactly. I'm coming out.
Sorry, Beth, I've turned him.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. That'll be a shock if I suddenly come out of those shadows.
So what's next for Mr. O'Keefe? This is it. Sitches.
Exactly. This is it. This is me. Ha ha. Maybe yeah, I'm growing my hair now and everything. Everyone keeps telling me I look like 70s porn star,
Well, there you go
like
then.
slash football. I don't know. So
That's
yeah,
your new. That's your new career. Actually, after the
exactly.
ice baths, I'm not sure a porn career would be the.
Well, or once the blood flow comes back, does it come back strong? Who knows?
Oh,
I,
okay.
you know,
I'm
yeah. Think
right.
about it.
I'm getting the
Think
ice
about.
bath. It's being shipped in straight away.
Think about it. Exactly. It helps with blood flow. That's all I'm gonna
Okay.
say.
Yeah, that sounds good. I might stop prescribing that to people.
Exactly. I love it. It always has to turn dark and naughty, doesn't it?
We have, but not
These
dark enough.
things.
As I think you were going to go with the vicar before, so
Yeah, well, yeah, really don't want to go there.
no, we'll come to that
Oh, I love it.
afterwards.
Yeah.
How often do you get to spend quality time together as a couple, being part of
Um,
a celebrity couple?
yeah, pretty. We're okay. You know, we're good. Depends what I'm doing. If I'm doing a property or something, then I'm a bit of a 100 hours a week person. So I then don't see Bev or anyone for like 2 years or something. So I have to kind of balance that a little bit. Yeah, so I do get a bit involved in things and go a bit. That's my nature, seeming. I'm a bit of an all or nothing. So I have to balance that.
Well, anyone that follows you both on social media can see that you are a real tight couple, really, really close. So how do you cope with being apart?
Well, like I try and now try not to let that happen because before, like I wouldn't go to start. I'd be like, and I missed out on some really good things. And you know, when she went to Canada for the bodyguard, I went for a week. That was it for 3 months, and that was the worst 3 months that either of us have been through. We were just, you know, it was horrible, and I won't ever do that again. So I've had to just balance stuff a little bit, you know, and not let that happen ever again. Because yeah, that was not fun. So, you know, it's about what's important, and it's about you know that that's really it. Is like what is important, you know. And I'm lucky. I like my wife, you know. She's a nice person, and I love her, and I like spending time with her. And you know, I don't know if she'll say the same, but um, you know, I wouldn't.
That's because you're a miserable git.
Exactly.
Self-obsessed.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah. So you know, it's a balancing act, and sometimes I heard a nice thing the other day. Someone was saying, you know, the balancing act. Sometimes it's like an aeroplane trying to land or an aeroplane with one wing in the water. It's like you know you have to sometimes that wing is in the water for however long, but it's whether you can then bring out and balance it, and that's life. If you have to do something for a certain period of time to get somewhere, then you have to then bring back the balance and be a better father, friend, you know, wife, mother, sister, you know, whatever you have to do to rebalance it, then you have to do that, you know. But you just have to be careful of that. You know, with workaholic type people, you just have to be a little careful of that.
Yeah. So, have you managed to get to see her in everything that she's done, though? When going back to the bodyguards, saying that you
Yeah,
spent time with
yeah.
her. Yeah.
No, yeah, I have, yeah. It's lucky. Well, there's been a couple of things I didn't really see at all, because I was so busy. But then there's a couple of things that like a project ended or whatever. I had a development going on or whatever, and then it ended, and then I was like, oh, I've got a couple of months. I'm just gonna like go and see her like 4 times a week, and so that's been great. So
It's
yeah,
nice
but it's
though, isn't
lucky,
it? It's
It
nice
is
to have
like
that
but
pride.
yeah, I've had to engineer my life. I used to be a gaffer. I used to do lighting for pop videos and commercial, and I used to
Mm.
work like 20-hour days. Like 6 days a week. It was just I used to work like a maniac, and I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't see anyone. All I'd do is work. So I had to. I needed to sack that off because I couldn't live like that.
Mm.
So you have to rebalance stuff sometimes, and find out where you are and what you're doing.
So life is about balances.
Yeah,
And
obviously I usually get that wrong, but but yeah, it's a balance of everything, isn't it, Richard? It's
it sounds
and
like
it's
you're pretty in touch with your mental health then,
yeah,
throughout this whole
but
conversation.
yeah, but it doesn't mean I don't get it wrong sometimes and
Mm.
still have dark times. And I've had a lot of really dark things happen in my life, and I I still have that darkness that I. Have to manage.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Because
it's
it
not
sounds
like
like.
I go on.
Sorry, go on.
No, no, no. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, it sounds like you work on it. You're aware of it.
Yeah,
It's not something that's pushed to the back.
no, never. And I'll talk. Here's the other thing as well, though. I don't want just like relationships where they're superficial anymore. I'm not the guy that goes down the pub and does all of that crap. That's just not me. I don't. I want relationships with, particularly with other men that are real, and like I don't want to
Mm.
just go, "Whoa," down the pub and "Whoa." That's not what I want. That doesn't help my mental health.
Mm.
So I want to nourish myself, and that is in my environment, the people I'm with, and everything I do. I want to nourish myself, not hurt my energy, and that is mentally for me it's been a big weight lifted off me. And I'd rather have one friend than 50 that I was the other way.
Do you know what? One of my ex-boyfriends, everyone called him a miserable twat
Mhm.
and a misery ass and stuff like that. But he's got
Mhm.
this outlook on life that's really kind of, people could be jealous of it. People, they admire it. You seem to have that same thing. I'm listening to you and I'm hearing elements of Danny, and I'm hearing elements of, wow, you've got this really good outlook on life, in my opinion, and so is
Right.
he, very similar, and yet he refers to himself as a miserable twat, and everyone else calls him one.
Well, thank you. Look. I'm chalk and cheese. I think some people like me, some people don't.
Mm.
And honestly, I don't really, I really don't care.
Which is what I'm
Like
jealous of.
No, but I do and I don't. Like sometimes when I'm on my own, sometimes I think, oh, maybe I wish I was a bit more like that, or I wish I was a bit, but it's energy for me. Everything's
Mm.
energy. I can only be the person I want to be around the right people,
Yeah.
and that is a two-way energy thing. We every situation we have is an energy exchange, and
Mm.
the older I get, the more I realize it. If I'm in an energy exchange with someone that I can't get their energy, then that turns me into not a good person. Then I'm like, well, then basically not going to like me and think I'm a miserable bastard. And I'm all right with that because I don't want to be around their energy anyway.
Mm.
But put me in with people who are, not like, don't want to compete with me, or because I don't want to compete with anyone. That's just not
Mm.
me. I don't want that anymore. When I was young, yeah, but now I let that go. I don't want to compete with other men and, try and do all of that, or women or anyone. I just want to be me and just connect with people and have nice times and laugh and joke and mess around and So it's all energy. Everything's energy with me, and I didn't realize I'd be so far down that road these days. I feel like I'm proper getting like a hippie. You know what I mean? I've got long hair and I wear like a crystal, and I'm like walk around my shoe, mate, and I walk around my shoes off, and everyone's like, "Who is this weird geezer?" You know what I mean?
But I'm like out the house without your shoes off.
Yeah, I walk in the park with my shoes off. I walk down the road with my shoes off.
Okay.
To walk the dog. And in no top, in Finsbury Park in the morning.
I was going to say, I know what kind of where you live, so
yeah.
That's strange.
I don't care. Even in the rain. I walk around in the rain, my top off, no shoes, in the park in the morning.
Are you one of these people that doesn't get that cold in winter, like the posties?
No, I'm pretty good. Yeah. I'm pretty good because of the cold water stuff. Yeah.
See, I had a coat on this morning, so I'm the opposite.
Big baby.
Maybe I need to get in these cold water situations.
Told you.
Okay. Do you know what? You've taught me into it. At some point this week, I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
I'm gonna cold water swim.
Let me know.
I'll post a picture or something.
Do it, please, mate. You'll get a lot from it. So
me, the dedication here. This is me forfeiting you, making sure that you and Bev come up and actually meet me. I'm forfeiting that. Saying that I'll do it on my own. So that's the dedication there.
I love it.
Do you know what? You're an absolutely fascinating person to talk to, and I'm sure you won't agree with that, but you actually are.
No, not really. Thank you, brother. It's really kind of you.
It has been it's been a while coming, but I've enjoyed speaking to you so much. Maybe next time we could do like a joint, you and your missus conversation. That'd be quite
fun. Yeah, listen to her just say, "Shut up, James."
Is that what tends to happen?
Basically, yeah. She'd like, just be quiet now. No, you know what, buddy? It's been thank you so much. I'm genuinely humbled and grateful to be on here with you. To be asked to do anything, like this is a real joy, and yeah, so grateful to you, buddy, and yeah, love what you're doing and love your journey as well. So big love to you and proud of what you're doing. So yeah, well done.
About it. Love your journey. Right.
Oh, bless you.
I'll speak to you on the other side when you can tell me about the vicar. And thank you very much for joining.
All right. Likewise. See you, buddy. Bye.